Welcome to the Arkansas CareerExplorer demonstration. The Arkansas CareerExplorer is powered by Headed To, a company with over 15 years experience in developing education technology. Headed To powers the Pennsylvania Career Zone, the California Career Zone, and the Nevada CareerExplorer, all systems that are backed by state agencies. The Arkansas CareerExplorer is designed to be a complete solution for your district. Our goal is to make onboarding the system as easy as possible for your district. That's why we're offering clever Google MS365 integration, a partnership with Triand Inc. that will make rostering and course planning easier to merge within the system, a turnkey career curriculum with pre-populated lesson plans designed to support student success plans, unlimited file management, where students can not just upload files, but you as their educator can tag and run reports on those files, as well as share those files with their parents. We offer unlimited educator access and a complete work-based learning system. What that is a way for you to integrate local partnerships with employers or community-based organizations that you wish to promote to your students. Those employers or partners can offer things like job shadows, mentorships, internships, and more. Your students will be able to discover those opportunities directly from within the occupation profiles available within the Arkansas CareerExplorer. Finally, today, we want to make a special offer to you. That is, if you invest in the Arkansas CareerExplorer, we'll make an investment in your students by giving them free access to their accounts in the system for life, because we believe that career literacy is a lifelong pursuit. Now, let's get into the demo. So let's start with the login screen, and we're going to log in first as a demo student in the system. You'll notice on the screen that we can log in using a username and password, or if your school or district opt to do a sign in with Google or Microsoft 365 or Clever, we can accommodate that as well. Once we land inside the system, you'll find the student is taken immediately to their Career Hub. And we're going to spend some time talking about the Career Hub, but first I want to orient you to the home page of the system. You'll see on the home page of the Arkansas CareerExplorer, there are three main options: Discover Possibilities, Explore Pathways, and your Career Hub. Discover Possibilities is where you're going to find all of the self-assessments available inside of the system. From Budget Your Life, which is an introduction to financial literacy, Interest Profile, which helps students understand what interests them and what kinds of jobs they might enjoy, to My College Preferences, the Quick Assessment, Work Importance Profiler, Skills Profiler, Work Keys, and Up the Ladder, which is designed for younger students. The next option on the homepage is Explore Pathways. Explore Pathways allows students who have already completed self-assessments to go deeper into the career pathways and clusters that might be interesting to them, to explore colleges and other academic institutions, to look at direct occupations, explore fields of study, certifications, and if your school or district is pulling in work-based learning information, they can explore those options as well. If I open up Explore Pathways, you'll see that there are 16 career clusters within the Arkansas CareerExplorer. If I click on one of those career clusters, we'll point out that the data that is being shown here is Arkansas data. So we know now that there are 25,630 annual openings in agricultural, food, and natural resource, with 771 graduates going into those occupations, with an average wage of $49,442. Students are able to filter occupations by the highest paying, the fastest growing, or the most employed. If they want to compare occupations, they simply check the boxes next to the occupation names and hit Compare Selected. You'll notice when we're comparing different occupations that students can look across the job zones, the clusters, the interests, the work values, the salary, projected employment, and majors. If they find an occupation that they're excited by, they can always click View Occupation and get dropped right into that occupation's profile inside of the CareerExplorer. Returning to the home page, again, I'll click Explore Pathways and talk through an example of what we've seen with students using the system. A student may approach you and tell you, for example, that they want to become a doctor. A great way to use Explore Pathways, though, is to have that student consider in what career cluster is doctor, and it's actually health science. When I click on health science, sure enough, if you look under the occupations, you'll see that there are several doctors listed under the highest paying occupations. But as much as those occupations pay, they do require a lot of job preparation. If I hover over the number 5 for Job Zone 5, it shows that extensive preparation is needed, with most of these occupations requiring graduate school. If a student is not interested in taking that much of an educational course after high school, they may become discouraged. But this is where you're able to show them, say, the fastest growing positions in this area of health science, and point out that there are occupations in this area that may not require the same amount of preparation, such as occupational therapy assistants and home health aides. These occupations may be occupations that your student had never heard of prior to using the Arkansas CareerExplorer, and now might begin to build a plan around learning more about it. Returning to the home page, we'll show you the Career Hub. The Career Hub is the page that students go to once they've logged into the system. And as you can see, it is personalized to the student who is being shown. It's going to give them their progress along the different self-assessments in the system. And if they want to access any of those assessments, they can always click on the link below. As they go into Inspired by Your Exploration, they're going to be given suggestions of different activities, institutions, and occupations they might explore next. On the right-hand side, you can see that their course schedule can be pulled into the system. You'll also see where all their plans are stored. These are their own plans for career exploration, for job applications, as well as any lesson plans that you assign to them. The Career Explorer allows students to store files in the system, and there's no storage limits. To upload a file, they simply click Manage All Files, choose their file from their desktop, and upload it to the system. Their journals are saved here, as are their recently liked items. Returning to the home page, I now want to go deeper into one of the self-assessments. If I click on Discover Possibilities, we'll click on Budget Your Life. Now, some students may not know what they want to do, but they have a really good idea of how they want to live. So we're going to select Choose Your Lifestyle to budget how much money they'll need. We're going to select a county in Arkansas, say Polk County. And what happens is all of the cost of living data is pulled in as we go through these different selections to build our budget. The first question students get is about their housing costs and how they plan to live. Are they going to live with parents, rent an apartment, buy a place of their own a place that's already paid for? Let's make the selection buy a place of your own and move to the next section. The student then decides what utilities they're going to need, and I'll select a few here. As we move through the system, you'll see the students are prompted to think about what their lifestyle is going to look like after high school or later after college. They're also going to have to make some important trade-offs between their own personal wants and their needs. It can be a great teaching opportunity as well when we look at a category such as health insurance to teach students about what's required when it comes to the law and how important and expensive items like health insurance can become. Finally, it should be pointed out that as we select different options, we can always make adjustments to the total value simply by typing in a new value in the green box. We're left with a summary. These students made their selections in their budget, and you can see that their monthly spending is $2,829, requiring a minimum annual salary after taxes of $33,945. When we click View Occupations, we're shown all the occupations that meet that minimum budget requirement, and that's signified with a little piggy bank. That piggy bank will come back later when they look at occupation listings, so they always know which occupations actually meet the salary requirements of their budget. Let's show one more self-assessment. Inside Discover Possibilities, the second option is the Interest Profiler. The Interest Profiler is going to go through either a series of 30 questions or 60 questions to ask the student what kinds of tasks they'd like to perform at work. They'll be asked questions like, would you like to build a kitchen cabinet? How do you want to respond to that? Or develop a new medicine? Or write books or plays? As a student goes through these, it's very important that they're honest with themselves about what things they truly would enjoy versus what things may be less so. I'm going to speed through these responses, and then we'll get to the summary page. Hit Summarize, and you'll see the attributes that line up for this individual student. These are from the Holland Codes. And you'll see that this particular student is enterprising, conventional, and realistic. Let's click View Occupations to see the occupations that match to that student's interests. You'll note that the occupations that match for the student are in orange, and they can select occupations that have a video by job zone or by the level of compatibility. And as always, if we want to compare occupations, we can do so by clicking and hitting Compare. Next, let's explore an occupation profile. This occupation is for a retail salesperson. At first, if you want to direct your students to video or other media, click on the Media Gallery. You'll find the videos are usually the last couple of thumbnails. While some of the thumbnails may seem a little dated, the videos themselves are actually fairly updated, as you can see here.
Behind a cash register, stand at the ready on the car lot.
Once the students decided that they're interested in a particular occupation, they may want to compare the average salary in the state of Arkansas to a neighboring state. Or, as they scroll down, they might want to learn more about what the job does, or what kind of interests or work values the people who work in that job have, or the things they'll need to know and how it connects to their education right now, or the things and skills they'll need to have down the road. In this case, active listening, persuasion, speaking, service orientation, and negotiation are core aspects of being a retail salesperson. We should point out here that in this system, we'll also present similar occupations, both in the civilian life and in the military as well. Let's go back to the home page. In addition to all the activities that are available inside of these homepage buckets of Discover Possibilities, Explore Pathways, you'll also note that there are more activities to be discovered in Explore, Decide, and Grow. Including in Decide, you'll find some modules on the cost of college, financial aid, and a job search. Some of your students will be interested in college, and when we click on Discover Possibilities, you'll see that there is a way for them to begin to register their college preferences. They'll be asked questions like, what's the student body size they're most interested in? What's the campus setting that is most appealing? What type of school would they like to go to? As we move on, we can select the states that we're interested in attending college. We can enter our SAT or ACT scores, the state that we live in currently, our parents' income range, and the amount they've saved for college, etc. Click Finish. Our college preferences have been saved, which is going to help the system make smarter recommendations to the student about the colleges that would be of interest to them. If we want to explore those colleges, we just go to Explore Pathways, click Explore Colleges, and again, we can select the state and begin to take a look at the colleges in our area. Each college profile is very similar to an occupation profile in that it will give you high-level data about tuition, student body size, annual room and board acceptance rate, but then we'll go into more detail as you scroll down, including looking at the total applicant pool, the average test scores, enrollment numbers, tuition, financial aid options, etc. You can also calculate how much attending the institution might cost you by visiting a net price calculator on this institution's website. Finally, on the right-hand side, if I click What Will It Cost Me?, what this is going to do is pull in data from one of the occupations that we've liked and estimate an annual salary, which we can change in this box right here. We can now compare that to the education costs. If we plan to take loans out, we can change the interest rate or the loan term. And we can see that after we've done that, we're left with $2,050 each month for our expenses. As you can see, financial literacy is a really important part of the Arkansas Career Explorer and core to self-empowerment for your students. Okay, finally, let's show you a little bit how search works. If I click an occupation, type in an occupation like police, it's going to pull up data that shows us which colleges offer programs in that area, which certifications are available, which majors exist. But also, if I click on occupations, this will show all of the occupations that have police as a keyword. Now, that's important for students who might have one idea of what it is to, say, be a police officer, but find out just through the search results that there are 21 occupations that are very similar that might be interesting to them as well. Finally, for students who have graduated and are looking for job opportunities, there is a job search directly inside the Arkansas Career Explorer. Click Job Search, and you'll be able to find occupations simply by typing it in, and you can filter it by job openings, apprenticeships, and internships. All right, so that's a demonstration of the student aspects of the Arkansas Career Explorer. In the next part, we're going to review all of the features available to educators, from running reports to managing and assigning lessons to managing local opportunities for your students. All right, in the next section of our demonstration of the Arkansas Career Explorer, we are going to review all of the management features available to educators and administrators. Let's log in as a demo account for an educator. The educator is going to find a new option at the top of their screen. In addition to Explore, Decide, and Grow, they'll now see a Manage tab. Now, the central administrator of the Arkansas Career Explorer is going to be able to see a load of reports about the system activity inside the system, from account login to school usage to occupations viewed and more. They are also able to create surveys in the system, which they can distribute to their students. Teachers who are managing a single class or a single cohort for the student success plans will only see these options: Manage Users and Manage Lessons. Let's click Manage Users. You are able to look at information across all of the users in your system if you're a central admin, or you can look at subsegments. We have some pre-populated filters, including the user types, students, managers, school administrators, the graduation years, and the schools. So in this case, I'm looking at all of the juniors in one of our schools here, Tappan Zee. Okay, and there's 42 of them. Now, anytime I apply a filter, any of the actions that you see in this gray section are going to be for the number of students who are in that filter. So if I run a report, it's going to be for the 42 users below. If I assign a lesson, again, for the 42 users who are in the list. Same if I send a message. Let's go back and look at everyone by unclicking these filters that I've applied. Here's where I'll point out that you're able to create your own groups inside of the system. You can do that in bulk by using our Import Users and then Group Assignments option. Or if you want to assign students to an individual group one by one, you're able to do that too by typing in the name of the group right next to the student's name. If we want to look up a group, we simply type in the group name. Here I've typed in Group 9, and I see the 25 students who are in Group 9. Let's run a report on these students. You'll see when I click Run a Report, there are several reports that are available to our managers. The dashboard report is going to give you a full summary of all the activity inside the system. If you see a green dot, that tells you that the activity has been completed. If you hover over the acronym at the top, you'll see what it is. This one is the interest profiler, and you can see the green dot means it's complete. The circle, it means it's in progress, and the hash mark means it's not started. You're able to export these as Excel or CSV. Now, looking at this report, I see that all of my students have done a really nice job with some of the activities, but none have done the resume or cover letter yet. So what I want to do is I'm going to send them a message. If I click send message, this is going to send a message to the 25 students that I have selected. And I will reminder, do your resume. Please do your resume. If I click send message, that message will go out to all the students in that particular group. When the student next logs into the Arkansas Career Explorer, they're going to see a red number 1 up here indicating that they have a message from their educator. All right, let's close out this group and look at all the students again in aggregate. Now, when we're looking at all of the users, and in this case, we're looking at both students, managers, school admins, and administrators, but I'm going to set it to just students. We also have the option to assign them a lesson. The Arkansas Career Explorer comes complete with pre-populated lesson plans that help you facilitate and drive your student success plans. Let's hover over Manage Lessons. You'll see here that what we have is a lesson plan listing, and these are some of the lessons that are currently available. If I click on one of the lessons, you'll see a lesson preview for students that describes what the lesson's all about and includes the tasks that they're going to be asked to complete. If I click on About this lesson, you'll see a summary for the educator, giving that educator an idea of the purpose of the lesson summary, the lesson objective, the required materials, the resources that will be needed, the lesson activities, learning outcomes, etc. If I see a lesson that I like but want to make some changes to, I can click the Actions button, and I can always copy that lesson, all right, and then edit the lesson to my own parameters or specifications. If I want to create a lesson from scratch, I just hit the blue button, Create a Lesson, and I can develop my own lessons within the system, which I have the option to share or just use with my own students. Now that we're ready to assign one of these lessons, I'm going to go back to Manage Users, and we're going to go back to our familiar group number 9. For these 25 students, I'm going to click Assign a Lesson, and I'm going to select the lesson that we just reviewed. Student Success Module, 8th grade. What's my plan? Building your individualized career plan for the Arkansas Career Explorer. I click the green icon, then click OK, and that will assign the lesson to all of the student users. In the first part of this demonstration, we showed you the student's Career Hub. The Career Hub is where this lesson that's just been assigned will appear for the student the next time they log in. The student will be able to track their own progress in the lesson plan, but you can see the progress they've made yourself. If I click X and we look at one of these students, Johnson for example, I'll click on Actions, click on the Profile Report, and then I will actually uncheck these other options so that I can see exclusively the plans that have been assigned. Okay, so here we are looking at just plans, and this is the lesson plan I just assigned. No progress obviously has been made inside this plan just yet. There's some other plans that have been assigned, and again, I can tell that this particular student has not yet started his lesson plans because the bar is completely gray. Had he completed these lessons, it would be all the way green, or if he was just making progress, it would be blue and indicate how far along he was. I'll close this, and let's take a look at another student. In the first demonstration, we used Wendy as our example, and so in this case, what I'm going to do is click on Actions, click on the Profile Report, and demonstrate for you that Wendy actually has started one of the plans she was assigned. She's halfway through. Let's select all and see all the other activities Wendy's done inside the system. If I'm her counselor or teacher, I might look and see the results of her interest profiler, her skills assessments. I might look at some of the occupations that were good matches for her. As I scroll down, I might take a look at some of the flagged items, the items that she gave a good rating to, her historical assessment results. As I scroll down, her budget results. And if I go to the very bottom, I'll also be able to see the files that she saved inside of the system. The Portfolio Summary Report is a great way for you as an educator to see all the activity your students have done. And that's why actually we recommend that students or you as their educator save the file as a PDF to their Career Hub simply by clicking Save. it tells you that you can now access this in their saved files. Now this is important because for Wendy, if I go to her Manage Files option inside of Actions, you'll see that there's a little share button here. If I click the share button, I have the option to share this document with Wendy's parents, either by email or by SMS, by typing in the address or phone number here, and any comments. Now once I've done that, it gets sent out to the parent. I'll be able to see how many times that file has been seen by the parent, and if they've clicked the Approve button beneath the file to indicate that they've had a chance to review it. Okay, so what are some other things that teachers can do inside of the system? Well, in addition to importing groups, you'll also have the ability to invite individual students under a teacher's management, or if you want to manage groups, you can do that directly from the Manage Groups module. You can remove students from an individual group. You also have the ability to rename a group inside of this. Finally, the last thing I want to show you within the Career Explorer that's very exciting is something that we call local opportunities. Students who are using the Arkansas Career Explorer will already notice that a lot of the data inside of the system is designed to make them aware of the opportunities that are available to them in the state of Arkansas. We believe that this system can be not just good for your students, but good for the state economy as well. One of the more exciting ways to get students engaged in careers is to present to them local opportunities, things that they can do in their area, whether it is through partnerships with local employers, community service organizations, and more, that will tie into their interests and different career plans. We'll show you an example of what this looks like using one of the counties that we work with in the state of California, in the system that we call the California Career Zone. This is Humboldt County's site, and you can see they've populated their local opportunities with a number of different profiles from their area. If I click View All, you'll see there's 135 local opportunities in Humboldt County. These profiles were developed with the county office by all the local employers in the area who are willing to work with students. The type of involvement those different organizations offered are here. Things such as advising on projects and curriculum, doing classroom or lesson facilitation, field trip hosting, job shadowing, mentoring, and more. Students can filter activities according to those types of involvement. They may find a company that they're interested in and look at the profile directly. But the more exciting way there is for them to discover the local opportunities near them is to think about a scenario where a student has found an occupation that they're interested in. Let's do this example. I'm going to click on civil engineers. And let's imagine for a moment that a student did a self-assessment, such as the interest profiler, that pointed to civil engineering. They went into the civil engineering occupation profile and learned about it, discovering that it sounded like a great occupation for them. And when they scrolled down, they were curious, what are the opportunities for me to become a civil engineer? Here are education and training opportunities. Here are certification opportunities. Here are actual jobs. But if they click on companies, they're going to find the local opportunities that'll allow them to start hitting the ground running in their pursuit of this particular career. I'll click LACO Associates, and here I'm taken to that profile where I can learn more about what LACO Associates does and the local opportunities that they're offering. Signing up different local organizations for this system is very easy. You send them a web-based form. They enter their URL. They enter some information, including their main contact information, and they'll also enter the type of involvement they're interested in. Then you as a central administrator will have the opportunity to publish their profile to your Arkansas Career Explorer deployment. All right, so those are the management features of the Arkansas Career Explorer.